Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. I will begin by introducing the Australian economy. Economy is a study of how individual, businesses, and government allocate scarce resources to satisfy unlimited wants and needs. This field helps us understand how countries achieve economic growth and maintain economic stability. Australia is a country with a developed and stable economy that is highly integrated with the global. Therefore, this assignment analyzes Australian economy from three perspectives, which is the economic system, microeconomy, and macroeconomy.
Assalamualaikum. I will present the background of Australia. Australia is a developed country in the Asia-Pacific region with stable parliamentary democracy. This stable government helps support economic growth and business activities. It also has a strong legal system that protects people and businesses, making Australia a safe place for investment. Australia has a population of about 27 million people and is a multicultural country because many people migrate there for better education, jobs, and quality of life. Finally, Australia has a strong economy based on export like iron, coal, natural gas, and lastly is agriculture products. It is close trade relationship with the Asian country also helps strengthen its economics. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Siti Karnat Zira binti Muhammad Yani, and now I'll be explaining about the type of economic system practiced in Australia. So Australia operates under a mixed market economy which combines the elements of free market capitalism with government intervention. In this system, both the private sector and government plays an important roles in economic activities. On one hand, the private sector is responsible for producing and delivering most goods and services. On the other hand, the government helps by providing the essential infrastructure, regulating important industry, and also addressing the market failures to ensure the economic stability. In addition, several institutions support Australia's economic system. For example, the Reserve Bank of Australia manages the monetary policy, while the Australian Treasury oversees the fiscal policy and also the government spending. And the Australian Competition Consumer Commission, or ACCC, also plays an important role in promoting the fair competition and also protecting the consumers. In conclusion, Australia's mixed market economy creates a balance between private enterprise and also the government involvement. This helps to support both economic growth and the well-being of society. So next, let's look at the first microeconomic aspect, which is the production. So production is the process of transforming inputs such as labor, land, capital, and entrepreneurship into goods and services that satisfy human wants and needs. And in Australia, the production system is highly efficient due to the use of advanced technology and competitive market environment. This has helped the country maintain the strong economic performance and a high standard of living. In terms of its characteristic, Australia's production system is highly capital intensive and technologically advanced. Major industries, especially mining and agriculture, make extensive use of automation, computerization, and modern engineering technologies. As a result, businesses are able to increase output, reduce production costs, and improve productivity, and this allowing them to remain competitive in both domestic and international markets. So, to have a better understanding of Australia's production system, let's examine the four key factors of productions, which are the land, labor, capital, and also the entrepreneurship. First is the land. Australia is blessed with the abundant natural resources, including the iron ore, coal, lithium, and gold. The country also has extensive agricultural land that supports the production of wheat, beef, wool, and dairy products. And these resources form the foundation of Australia's export-oriented company and contribute significantly to national income. And second is the labor. Australia has a skilled and diverse workforce supported by a strong education and training system. This enables workers to contribute effectively across various industries. In addition, the country maintains a relatively low unemployment rate, while the Fair Work Act helps protect the employees by ensuring fair wages and working conditions. And the third factor is capital. Australia benefits from advanced technology, modern machinery, and also well-developed infrastructure, which help businesses operate more efficiently. Furthermore, the country has a strong financial system supported by institutions such as the Reserve Bank of Australia, or the RBA, and the Australian Prudential Regulation Authority, known as APRA, and these institutions help maintain the financial stability and support business investment. And the last one is the entrepreneurship. Australia provides a business-friendly environment with a transparent legal system that encourages businesses' growth. that encourage business growth. And the government also supports small and medium-sized enterprises or SMEs through various initiatives and incentives. As a result, entrepreneurship plays an important role in driving innovation, creating new business opportunities, and promoting economic diversification. And together, these four factors of production contribute to Australia's productivity, competitiveness, and also the long-term economic growth.
Now let's take a look at the consumptions of Australia. First thing first, consumptions refer to the spending of the household on goods and services to fulfill the needs and wants in order to achieve a maximum level of utility and satisfaction. Consumption is an important component of the Australia economy because consumer spending drives economic activities and influences the overall market demand. Australia is a country where most people make consumption decisions based on the conventional economic framework. This means consumers generally behave rationally by comparing different choices and selecting the option that give them the highest satisfaction according to their preference and budget. According to the Australia Bureau of Statistics, the household consumption in Australia influenced by several factors such as income, prices, household sizes, lifestyle, and the overall economic condition. Besides the economic factor, the consumer spending is also influenced by the habits, cultural, and personal goal. For instance, younger consumers usually spend more on education, rent, transportation, technology, and experience. And in contrast, we can see that older consumers tend to focus more on healthcare, housing, and any family-related expenses. In Australia, Muslim consumers may choose halal products because their consumption decisions are influenced not only by their income and prices, but also by their religion and belief.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nurun Shafia. So now I will explain distribution in Australia. Distribution refers to the process of delivering product and service from producer to consumer. In Australia, distribution is very important because the country is large and the population is spread across different regions. Products are commonly distributed through wholesaler, retailer, distributor, and increasingly through e-commerce platform. Australia also has a strong logistics network including road, port, and warehouse, which have ensured efficient delivery. Distribution activities are regulated by laws such as Australia Consumer Law to protect consumer and ensure product safety. Business must also comply with custom, transport, and employment regulation. From an Islamic perspective, Australia distribution system support business freedom, fair competition, and consumer protection, which are consistent with Islamic principles. However, the reliance on interest-based financial system involve riba, which is prohibited in Islam. Next, I will explain the market structure in Australia. Australia has several types of market structure including perfect competition, monopoly, monopolistic competition, and oligopoly. For perfect competition, industries such as wheat and beef farming have many producers selling similar products, so prices are mainly determined by market demand and supply. For monopoly, certain infrastructure sectors have one only dominant provider. An example is Sydney Airport, which has significant market power due to its strategic position. Monopolistic competition is common in industries such as cafe, restaurant, hotel, and tourism. Many businesses offer similar products but differentiate themselves through branding, quality, and marketing. Meanwhile, oligopoly is the most dominant market structure in Australia industry, such as supermarket and telecommunication are controlled by a few large firms, which compete through innovation, promotion, and service quality. In conclusion, Australia has diverse market structure, but oligopoly is the most prominent. From an Islamic perspective, competition, transparency, and consumer welfare are encouraged. However, Islam discourages monopoly practice that may lead to unfair pricing and injustice toward consumers.
Next, I will discuss Australia's monetary policy. Monetary policy is an important macroeconomic policy used to influence economic activity and maintain economic stability. In Australia, monetary policy is conducted by the Reserve Bank of Australia or RBA. The RBA mainly uses interest rates and financial conditions to influence inflation, employment, and economic growth. Its primary objective is to maintain inflation within the target range of 2 to 3% over the long term. In addition, the RBA aims to achieve full employment, maintain financial stability, and support the long-term prosperity and welfare of Australians. The main monetary policy instrument used by the Reserve Bank of Australia is a cash rate, which is the interest rate charged on overnight loans between financial institutions. When inflation is above the target range, the RBA adopts a contractionary monetary policy by increasing the cash rate. Higher interest rates make borrowing more expensive, reducing consumer spending and business investment. As a result, aggregate demand decreases and inflationary pressure is reduced. On the other hand, when economic growth slows down and unemployment rises, the RBA implement expansionary monetary policy by lowering the cash rate. Lower interest rate encourage borrowing, increase spending and investment, and help stimulate economic growth and employment. Therefore, the cash rate is an important tool for balancing inflation control with economic growth.
So let's moving on to the fiscal policy. In my understanding, fiscal policy refer to the action taken by the government by spending its expenditure and revenue from the imposed taxes to help the nation to achieve the macroeconomic objective such as economic growth, economic stability and economic equity. The Australian government focus on returning the budget to balance and aggressively reduce the gross debt. They are focusing on limiting spending growth by capping it at 2.8% by 2026. During the period of supply shortages, increasing cash assistance such as relief or incentive can unintentionally fuel demand for scarce goods and services, which it putting additional pressure to the inflation. So the final strategy that imposed by the Australian government is a structural tax reform. First, the government will be lowering the tax burden directly for 13 million Australian workers to protect their purchasing power. Second, they are tackling on the housing crisis. Historically, property investors use negative gearing to gain a massive tax advantage, which lead to house speculation that drove up the house prices. So the Australian government is replacing this with the base cost induction and a 30% minimum capital gain tax. This cool down the speculative investment and aim to help 75,000 Australians to buy their first house. Finally, business tax relief is being offered to stimulate a local expansion and create more jobs to fight the 4.3% of unemployment rate.
As a recommendation, Australia should continue promoting sustainable economic growth while ensuring that economic benefits are shared fairly among society. The government should support low-income households, encourage environmentally friendly business practices, and assist workers affected by technological changes. From an Islamic economic perspective, Australia can further improve its economic system by promoting fair business practice and reducing excessive debt. This effort can help create a more inclusive, balanced, and sustainable economy for future generations. In conclusion, Australia has a mixed economic system that combines both public and private sectors. The country performs well in both microeconomic and macroeconomic aspects and continue to maintain economic stability despite challenges like inflation and rising costs. From an Islamic economic perspective, many features of Australia's economy reflect important values such as justice, social welfare, and the disposal of resources. Therefore, Australia provides a good example of how economic growth can be achievable while supporting the well-being of society. Thank you.